Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Logan, y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, just want to make sure my sentence right a little crazy. Anyways, welcome to Unscripted, man. We are going to have a good time tonight. Lots of things going on in the sports world. Trades being made with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Saints. We'll get into that. And obviously, we'll do a little bit of Monday Night Raw recaps and just all kinds of crazy stuff, man. But definitely lots of stuff going on in the basketball world. We'll definitely cover that and more. So, Gonzo, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. Had a great weekend. Got to watch a lot of wrestling this weekend. Now I'm watching them. Hopefully the Pacers beat the Sixers tonight, but at least cover. As long as they cover the spread, I'll be happy. They just got to cover the spread.
Absolutely. And we got our boy, Logan Landers. Logan, how you feeling, brother?
Hey, Jay, I'm doing phenomenal. Had an amazing, wild 2 nights at Unscripted, Saturday and Sunday. If you want unfiltered Jay McLovin content, along with Frankie C, the live appearance of Damian Hernandez, and many, many more surprises throughout the 11 hours or so we streamed, go on our Facebook, the only place you can watch it, and be sure to get a recap of those. We're going through the whole WrestleMania. We had some surprises, and man, it was fun, but we're getting back to our roots tonight, Jay. We're going to be a PG-13 friendly show here on ASAP and Unscripted, but it does tug at our hearts a little bit that we had all that freedom. But I'm happy to get back to our more centered content around the major sports world.
Hey, listen, that was fun. It was like Unscripted After Dark, and if you guys want to really just see, what goes on when we're not on camera, man, hey, that's a good thing. And I do want to say one thing real quick. I want to tip my hat off to Damian. We really poked a lot of fun at Damian. And for the most part, he really took it like a champ. He even came on the show. And, yeah, man, what a good sportsman he was.
I will say, though, Jay, he was with us for pretty much the entire 2 days. So, like I said, I know we messed with him. That's just because he's our loyal fan. But no, we thank you so much, Dan. We really do.
Well, all right, folks. By the way, Frankie the Yankee will be back with us starting on Thursday. So he's coming off a long sabbatical. I don't know how long the sabbatical or how long he's going to be with us for, because Frankie kind of comes here and there. But hopefully he'll last a long time with us. And I know he's got a lot of things going on with the family. So hopefully we'll get a good dose of Frankie the Yankee. And I'm looking forward to having him back, man. I really missed the guy, and hopefully Robert Street will get his butt back on here. And we will go from there. We got Iverson Vlog chiming in. Yo, what's up,
What's
Mr.
Vlog?
All right. Hey, without further ado, let's get into this thing, man. Shall we? Let's talk. Let me go over my slides here. Let me slide my slide down. Let's talk about some March Madness. We're gonna, start off the women's recap. And it's been a while since the South Carolina Gamecocks have won the title. Number one. Number two, they won the title very well. Defeated a really tough UConn team. And it speaks volumes for Don Staley, does it not? I mean, it just speaks volumes. I mean, this is a team full of All-Americans, arguably probably one of the best coaches in women's college basketball. And they go in there and not only just beat them, but they dominate them. Just flat out domination. UConn committed 21 fouls. South Carolina committed 11. And that just kind of gives you the tell tape right there. The more disciplined team was under Don Staley. And, you know, I think she's definitely making waves, not only for female coaches, but for African-American female coaches, the whole 9 yards for herself, and her players are just doing outstanding things. And I couldn't be more prouder. I'm not a South Carolina Gamecock fan, but in this particular situation, it's just a really good storyline and a lot of history being made today. Gonzo, what was your thoughts of South Carolina stunning UConn with the blowout?
I'll tell you what, if you looked at that tournament, South Carolina was dominant the whole tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, even in their Final Four game, they beat Louisville 72-59. So I mean, they dominated basically the whole tournament. I was surprised. I wasn't surprised that they beat UConn, but I was surprised at the way that they did by dominating like that. I thought it was going to be a real close game. Excuse me. Don Staley, she also became the first black coach to win 2 championships, to win 2 national titles. That's also a big deal as well. And another thing, it's nice to see other teams that can actually compete with Connecticut now. Because if you look back, 10 years ago,
10 years, it was just slaughtered.
Yeah, women's college basketball was basically Connecticut.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other teams, the only thing I'd like to see, I think they should do the women's tournament at a different time. Don't do it at the same time as the men's tournament. And I think the women's tournament would grow exponentially if they would do it at a different time. I think more viewers would give it a chance than do when you have the men's tournament going at the same time. But no, I think Don Staley she's proved that she's one of the best coaches in women's basketball. And that South Carolina program I look for them to be contenders for at least the next 5-6 years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. Logan, what's your thoughts on Don Staley beating this UConn juggernaut, if you will, type of team?
I wasn't expecting a blowout, man. I wasn't expecting them to win by over 10 points, close to, I think, 15. So I was not expecting that. But you mentioned that you hit on it, Jay. UConn really shot themselves in the foot with turning the ball over so many times. And also their scoring could never really just get into that next level. Only one woman on the entire roster scored over 10 points, and that was Paige Beckers, probably one of the best, if not the best, college basketball women's players at the moment. And she had 14. They didn't, like I said, they shot hardly any free throws, just 1 for 4. You got to get to the line more than that. Also, what's going on, our boy Lennon Crisp. He says, how's some of the best in the industry doing today? We're doing great. But when you look at it, right, they actually shot better from the field goal and from the three-point line than South Carolina did. South Carolina only shot 36% from the field and only 18% from the three-point line. But like you mentioned, the turnovers led to fouls, and South Carolina got it done at the line, at the free throw line, 17-26, good for 65%. So I mean, they got pretty much the margin by which they beat them in was on free throws. So that was big for them. Also, big shout out to Henderson, had 26 points on 9 of 20 shooting, a very good night for her. And overall, man, South Carolina they were dominant. Boston had a double-double with 16 boards and 11 points. So, like you said, they were just more aggressive. They were smarter, and the UConn turnovers and lack of free throws is really kind of what did them in. And like Gonzo mentioned, man, South Carolina won the title a couple of years ago. It hadn't been super long, but UConn was the New York Yankees, was the New England Patriots of women's college basketball for a long time. Yeah. And now we're seeing more and more teams getting better on that level, like South Carolina. And it's going to be interesting to see how much better they can improve, who all they're going to lose in the WNBA draft, and how they can bounce back next year in 22-23. and if they can potentially repeat. It's going to be interesting to see. But overall, very good game, and much love to the Gamecocks getting their title.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, much love to Don Staley, man. Well deserved.
Yeah.
I can think of two female coaches that are players that are coaching right now at a high level. Obviously, Becky Hammond is the other one that comes to mind. Just phenomenal people. And I'm looking forward to seeing more female coaches take that step forward and seeing where they go. But again, hats off Don Staley, man. Could be proud of for you. All right, folks. Then we're going to hop into the men's March Madness. We're going to do the recap on them. Obviously, it has been said that, for North Carolina, the win over Duke was so much energy put into the celebration and trying to get past Duke that really was their finals. That they were on borrowed time in the actual game itself against Kansas, and that, they really just I think they really weren't. They didn't have the foot on the gas the entire time. I think they were just more satisfied with getting Coach K out and getting that victory. As you saw, in my opinion, Kansas got out to an extremely slow start in that first half. They just did, and North Carolina they came out ready to play. Neither one of them really shot the ball well, but just North Carolina shot the ball just a little bit better than what Kansas did. And matter of fact, North Carolina, I believe Baycott actually got hurt in the last minute of that game, which was really sad. It looked like he rolled that ankle as he did earlier. But they went on a 40-25, I believe it was, first half. And then Kansas came back on a 38-10 run as soon as the second half opened up and just never really looked back. And I will tell you this, the best part of that game was the last 3 minutes. Because you had one blowout in the first half, another blowout in the second half, but the last 3 minutes is when those two teams started swapping baskets back and forth. And I think that North Carolina was looking pretty good up until the fact that Baycott rolled that ankle. And I think once Baycott rolled the ankle, it was just game over. And that let Kansas pretty much take the rest of the win all the way home. And it just, at the very last, I think, 15 seconds of the game, it was all North Carolina just heaving up as many threes as they could to try to get one to go in to win. And it just, unfortunately, it did not happen. And Manic actually wound up throwing the ball away at the very end. And that was it, game over. I think Love tried one last desperation heave as time expired, and it was an air ball, and it was just game over. And unfortunately, it just didn't happen for North Carolina. But hats off to them for getting as far as they did. But I really think that, they were. I think they're still satisfied getting the win over Duke. I think Kansas and North Carolina that last 3 minutes was just like that's probably the best 3 minutes of the game. Honestly, Gonzo, your impression?
Man, it was a fun game to watch. Like you said, you had one team blowing the other team out in the first half, and then in the second half, the role reversed. I was surprised the way North Carolina came out because I figured they would be the team that would have to let down and not play very good in the first half after beating Duke, because I kind of felt that Duke was that big game for them. Yeah. And it was actually Kansas that came out flat. And Kansas didn't look good at all in the first half. And then in the second half, Kansas defense played better. But then North Carolina, I think their shot selection was just terrible in the second half. They got away from their game plan some. And that's what allowed Kansas to get back in it. But I agree, the last 3 minutes was the funnest part of the game because it was I don't think either team got ahead by more than 3 during that last 3 minutes. It kept going back and forth. But tell you what, that Abaji from Kansas, he played a heck of a game, especially in the second half last night.
Absolutely.
I thought North Carolina was going to pull it off, but they had a great season. But Kansas was the number 1 seed for a reason, and they were able to find a way to win that game.
And McCormick had a really good game as well for Kansas. I mean, he went up, 15 points, 10 rebounds? I mean, not a bad game at all. Logan, your thoughts?
Well, first off, I just want to say tip of the hat to Hubert Davis. What a tremendous first season he had. 1 win away, a couple of points away from his first title in his very first year coaching. As we all know, taking over for Roy Williams at North Carolina. But like I said, Kansas in 2020, they were number 1 seed. They didn't have the tournament. Everyone thought they were going to run through everyone. They didn't get it in 21, so they came back here and he said, we're taking it for those guys who had to leave the team, who got drafted, and they got that title. But like I said, you mentioned McCormick, but I think kind of the unsung hero coming off the bench was Remy Martin. Had 14 points in 21 minutes. You got to have that guy off the bench who can really provide you that extra boost when you need it. And also, too, I think North Carolina just kind of got tired at the end because they only played 6 players the whole game pretty much. And they all played a lot of minutes. I know they've kind of went with a shorter rotation, but when you couple that into the entire March Madness, all the games, I mean, guys are going to be tired. It don't matter if you take a week off or a couple of games off. They're going to get tired, and that's what you saw, right? In the first half, they looked good. They had that big lead. I think they were up 15. And then in the second half, Kansas, they flipped that switch. They turned it around. They got the win. The close game, like you mentioned, it could have easily went to overtime.
Right.
But Kansas was just able to hold them out a little bit longer. And, big shout out to Kansas, man. They're back on top. And their starters all did a very good job of getting points on efficient shooting pretty much. And there's a reason they got the win, man. So the Jayhawks getting their title. We'd like to see it.
Absolutely. And
What's up, Rob?
shout out to Big Shot Robert Scott. Some people are there's actually being speculated now that Kansas could repeat. So they're actually favored to repeat. So it's going to be kind of curious to see what Kansas actually does next year and if they are able to repeat or if they lose anybody to the draft. I don't know, but I think next year for Kansas should be interesting to see if they can pull in another title and get the job done. But all right, folks, moving this bad boy along, we are now talking about the Eagles and Saints trade. And as you can see, it was quite a bit. And I think it's going to shake up the middle part of the draft for sure. I look at this now and I see that the Eagles basically are receiving the 18th pick, the number 101st pick, the 237th pick in the 7th round. But they also get the 23 first rounder and the 24 second rounder. The Saints get the number 16 and the number 19 in the draft, but they also get the number 194 pick in the 6th round. Now, here's why I'm telling you the Saints, good for them that they got, a couple of mid-round picks, not too far apart from each other. They should be able to pick up some mid-level talent, probably like, either an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, I would imagine, maybe even something in the secondary, who knows. But at the same time, they also kind of gave back that first rounder that the Eagles gave to them for the 18th pick. So the Eagles came into it with 3 first-round picks. And they have currently the number 15 and the number 18th pick in the draft. But they're also going to they also got their third first-round pick back in 2023. So all they really did was take they had 3 first rounders in this year's draft, but they took one of the first rounders and delayed it to next year's draft so that they could get, I believe it was number 19 pick, if I'm not mistaken, and the 16th pick. So I think that at the end of the day, and the Eagles got a second round pick in 24. I think that at the end of the day, man, I think the Eagles have got the better end of the stick on this. I really honestly do. They got the 15th, the 18th, and then they got the 101st, the 237th picks. That's 4 picks in this year's draft, and they got a first-rounder pick to go along with whatever other first-round pick. So they should have 2 first-rounders in 23. I mean, how much better can you get than that? 2 first-rounders this draft, 2 first-rounders next draft. I mean, the Eagles, I think the Eagles won this trade. Gonzo, how you feel about it?
I think the Eagles, this is an interesting trade for the Eagles. I think they got the better end of it. It's hard to say who won the trade yet until you see what these picks turn into. But with the Eagles, what they did, they made it where they can get a couple guys this year to try to get weapons to help surround Jalen Hurts since they committed to him this season. Try to get some weapons and see what they have. But then they also set themselves up for next year if Hurts don't prove himself this year, they set themselves up. Well, they're still going to have 2 first-round picks where if they need to try to go get a quarterback, they'll have, they have them high picks to be able to try to get one.
So they can easily flip 2 first-rounders for a quarterback.
So I think they set themselves up good in that aspect because if Hurts don't work out, they're going to have some first-round picks to work with that next year to try to figure out a replacement. On the Saints side, the Saints might take a quarterback this year with one of them picks because the quarterbacks that they're in the draft, I don't think. I mean, I'd be surprised if any of them go top 10.
Right.
I mean, this isn't a quarterback heavy draft, and with the Saints, they have Winston this year, and I could see them maybe trying to get a Drew Pitts or somebody like that. Letting them kind of sit behind Winston for a year or two, and then try to bring him in and seeing what you got. But
I gotta be honest with you, man. I can see them doing that. I can see them doing that. I mean, I see the logical reason about possibly doing that. But at the same time, I gotta believe that Winston showed enough last year that the Saints gotta believe in him enough that they're gonna keep him at a cheap price. And I really believe they're smart. They're gonna build around him and give him the weapons. I mean, they got Thomas, but we still don't know if Thomas is. We don't know what's going on with Thomas. No. So I think that you still can go after. They have a wide, deep receiver class. Maybe go pick up maybe 2 wide receivers and put something around Winston to see what he can do with that.
Yeah, the only thing about Winston is injuries. I mean,
I get that, and that's true. That's. But they also got, but at the same time, they also got Dalton in there as a backup. I guess just in case.
Yeah, they did get Dalton. You're right. Yeah, they did get Dalton. I think Dalton can still play some. I don't think he's a starter, but he's a
nice backup.
I was gonna say he's a real good backup to have on your team.
Yeah.
Logan?
Yeah. So when I saw this trade, I was first upset because I'd already done a video talking about the Eagles draft picks and whatnot, and then 3 hours later this came out, so I was upset at that. But I will say that the Eagles, I think, are going to try and go for it in the South, like you mentioned last year. They got knocked out mercifully by the Bucks, and they finished, I think, 9-8, only 3 games behind the Cowboys for the crown. So with them having 3 picks all within 5 slots of each other, I definitely wasn't surprised that they were going to try and move some of these picks around. Like you mentioned, you give up number 16 and number 19 for 18, so you split them right in the middle. So that lets me think, Jay, that they have somebody in mind that
right.
Instead of wanting to have those 2 or 3 first round picks all coupled up near each other, where you could have gotten 3 role players for 3 different positions, they have their heart set on somebody at that 18 spot or in that range. So, and also let's not forget too, right? They're picking 18, but also they're picking 15. So you still have two slots right there. And like you mentioned, they got the big haul. They got the 3rd round pick, the 7th round pick. Those are some that you can maybe get. The 3rd round, you can get a pretty good player in because there's always some solid players in that 3rd round. 7th round, that's a bit of a, just a raw prospect you're going to have for years, maybe see what they can do. And then, like you mentioned, I think the bigger haul was them getting back their 23 first-round pick and also getting a 24 second-round pick. I mean, those are solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, as for the Saints, right, they're getting 2 picks at the moment for this current year, 16 and 19. And, honestly, if you look at the NFC South, it's really just the Buccaneers and kind of who else is going to be that second team. Because the Panthers were disappointing last year. The Falcons were, and the Panthers, Falcons, and Saints, they were all mediocre last year. And so that lets me know that the Saints are going to try with Winston. They're going to see what they can do with them. Like I said, we talked about last show. They're moving Taysom Hill to tight end. And they gave up a lot this past offseason. They had to because they had no cap space. Right. So I think it's smart. You can get 2 guys, whether it's offensive linemen, defensive pieces, whatever you want, right? And you can have them go ahead and slide into your starting rotation this upcoming year and then prove themselves over the next couple of years, see what they can do. So I like the move by the Eagles. I like the move by the Saints. Like I said, it's too hard to tell kind of who won at the moment just because you don't know how the players are going to come out of it. But I could see the Eagles, like I said, they got someone in mind at that 18th pick and they got someone at 15. And the Saints, they're trying to maybe go for it in the South. That's what's going to tell me that they're getting these 2 first-round picks. They're going to try and at least, I will say, battle against the Bucs, but it's going to be tough. But overall, I think, like I said, it's a good trade for both teams, and both teams were kind of in that middle ground, right? Not the worst team in the league, not the best team, just kind of middle of the road. So we'll see who can get the advantage of it in the next couple seasons.
Absolutely. And our boy Sander Arroyo Sanchez says, Yero. We say Yero back to Sander. Hey, here's the deal. I think the reason why I feel like the Eagles won this trade is because of the fact of what they get in next year and the following year's draft. Right. So whatever they get this year, okay, maybe they hit pay dirt, maybe they don't, I don't know. But they have another shot at it in 23 with 2 first rounders, and then in 24 they get an additional second. I feel like on future drafts is where they made their money. But we shall see, folks. We shall see, man. Listen, I'm not an Eagles fan. I hope they blunder it all up because I'm a Cowboys fan and I need them to blunder it up. But we will see what happens. How does wide receiver Devonta Parker help the Patriots? And here's the deal with that, folks. We all know that last year the Patriots made the playoffs as a wild card team, but they did not have a number one proven wideout. Now, I'm not saying that Parker is the next coming of Jesus or something of that nature, but I do think that he's a better upgrade than that. I can't even say that guy's name. How do you say that one dude's name that they just got rid of, but they brought him in? Oh, I can't say that guy's name for nothing. Basically, they did not really have a true number one wideout last year. They just did not have it.
Yeah. And
this year, they at least have an upgraded guy who potentially could turn into a number one for Mac Jones. Gonzo.
N'Keal Harry?
No, that was some other dude. I can't think of his name right offhand. It'll probably come to me here in a minute. But what do you think about this? I mean, do you think that, obviously Parker, like I said, is not Devonta Adams by any means, but I do think that he's going to help them out tremendously, given what they had last year to work with at the wide receiver core.
Oh man, I think it's a big thing for the Patriots. I agree with you. I'm not going to say he's a number one, but he is a capable receiver in the NFL. He's proven that, and he's going to be another good option for Mac Jones. I still think they need some more. They still need another weapon, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the offense.
Jarvis Landry is still out there. I don't know why they don't pair him up with Jarvis Landry. Now you got a pretty decent receiving core.
I'm surprised the Colts haven't went after one of these receivers.
Exactly, because Matt Ryan's going to need somebody.
Yeah, we don't have a strong receiving core either. So I guess there maybe these teams think that the receivers coming up in the draft are better than the receivers, or better prospects than the receivers that they can get right now in free agency. So maybe they'll wait till after the draft, see what they get in the draft, and then try to pick up some of these other receivers maybe.
I mean, and I guess, like Sanders saying, he wanted to get traded there. I guess he probably likes Bill Belichick or the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots is a good team to go to. You got a great coach. You got a good, young quarterback. I mean, it would still be an attractive destination, right?
Yeah.
Logan?
Yeah. This definitely helps out the Patriots, I think, because they need help in that wide receiver room. We've listened to Frankie talk about it every week. Pairing with Mac Jones, and I think it could be a pretty good pairing. We'll see how he can do throughout the season. Like Sandra said, he leads the league in contested catches in 19 or since 2019, so that's a good stat. And overall, man, the Patriots are looking up. They're looking like they're going to go for it again, fighting the Bills. And I like the move for when they got Devonta Parker.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think Devonta Parker is going to be a hell of a good addition for them. And let's be honest, once Miami brought in Tyreek Hill, it really made him expendable. It really made him expendable. And Miami has a really good receiving core as well. You got Tyreek Hill, who will give you the speed for the long ball, even though I don't think Tua can hit him. And then you got Waddle, who's going to be a really good route runner for you. And then you got Wilson, which is probably going to be a good slot guy. I mean, and then of course you got Gesicki or Gesicki, whatever his name is, at the tight end. I mean, Miami has got a hell of a good offensive line or offensive receiving core and running back, but I just don't think that they have the right guy at the helm. You know what I mean?
I got you. Like I said, like I said before, this is a proving year for Tua to prove he can be that guy. So we'll see. It really is a proving year. Like I said, I'm still holding out hope for him. I think that, there's an obvious reason he was a high overall pick. But this is definitely, I think, the year to kind of see if the Dolphins are going to continue with him or not, and if he's going to be that legit number one starter to lead your franchise into a deep playoff run, maybe a Super Bowl one year. We'll see.
Oh, no, I definitely agree with you. Simmons not playing in the regular season or the play-in for the Nets, and let's be honest, guys. I think we really talked about this earlier. Simmons has been out for so long, and obviously, I don't know how you mess up your lower back when you're not even playing, but he's got injuries. He hasn't played in forever. Let's just call it what it is. You're not going to see Simmons this year. You're just not. They're not playing Simmons in the playoffs. Even the first thing he can be back would be after the play-in if they survive the play-in. And even if you, like you said, like I think Pride said it, even if you get him back, what good is he going to be? He's going to be rusty. He's going to be, he hasn't played basketball forever. His timing, all that stuff, right? So I think, with Ben Simmons, we're better out. If he's got a shot, he'll come back next year. I think hopefully he comes back. I should say hopefully he comes back next year. With Ben, I just don't know what's going on with him. He's just such a mentally jacked up person right now that I just don't know what's going to go on with him. But I will say this. I think Brooklyn is probably better off not having him play right now because even if he did come back, that might throw their chemistry off or whatever, trying to get him acclimated. So I think at this point, Brooklyn is better off not having him anyways. Gonzo, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play at all this year, not even in the playoffs. If he was going to play in the playoffs, to me, you want to play right now to try to get in a little bit of game shape and just get your timing down before the playoffs. Because you could shoot around by yourself, practice all you want, but it's not the same intensity as a game is.
Right.
So you would think that he would want to get out, or him and the team would want him out there so he could get used to that getting game condition, and like you said, create that chemistry with the team.
Right.
But I mean, but a back, man, but I know I'm dealing with back trouble, so having a bad back sucks. And if he's not good enough to play now, I don't think it's going to change in less than a week and him be ready to play at full strength in the playoffs. So even if he did play, he's probably not going to be at full strength. His timing's going to be off. He ain't going to have chemistry with the team. So, like you said, at this point, they're probably better off that he doesn't come back.
Right. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Logan, your thoughts, brother?
I ain't surprised. I mean, ever since the trade, there's always been questions of if he's even going to play, and it's clear he's not. Like Sanders said, he has herniated disc in his back, so ain't no way he's going to be playing. The time's going to be off. Chemistry ain't going to be there. And as a point guard, you need that. But, guys, I think we're overlooking something here. The Brooklyn Nets are going to be in a play-in game potentially. A team that's supposed to be top in the East could potentially – there's three scenarios. One, be an 8 seed, be in the play-in game, or maybe not even make the playoff. Or no, they're going to make the playoffs, but so either be in the play-in game or be an 8 seed pretty much. That's not cutting it for me. I mean, I know you traded hard and everything, and Kyrie's finally back on the court full-time. But I think I'm not, Simmons, I know he's hurt. But I think the real story here is Brooklyn has failed tremendously this year. Not as bad as the Lakers, but they have not lived up to expectations.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, the Lakers are jacked up. The Nets are jacked up. And it really just kind of opens it up for, I guess, the teams that are really supposed to be there anyway, which I'm telling you right now, I'm still staying with my prediction of Milwaukee versus Phoenix in the finals. But we'll see if Memphis or Golden State or, a Miami or Boston can derail that. But or even, I guess I shouldn't leave out Philadelphia. I mean, they're still in there too. But I just feel like those are going to be the two guys that match up the best or come out of each one of their conferences. But we'll see, man. I mean, a lot can happen in the playoffs, as we all have seen before, right? So,
oh yeah, I agree with you. That's who I have. I have the Suns and the Bucks in the finals again.
I just don't know if anybody can take out the Suns at this point, and I just don't know anybody can take out Giannis in Milwaukee right now. And I mean, unless injury hits, I don't know if anybody
can stop Giannis. I don't know if there's anybody in the East, probably in the NBA right now that can stop Giannis. He's just on a mission, man, and he's
right.
Especially now he's starting to hit some jumpers. He gets a decent jump shot.
It's done for.
Oh yeah, He's
right.
he
I mean,
gets
that's the story on
player.
Giannis is this jump shot. I mean, everybody knows that Giannis can score in the paint. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that Giannis can play good defense. But I think the one thing that really hurts Giannis's game and really keeps him out of contention for being like the guy is his outside shot. You got to have an outside shot.
He gets a jump shot. If he got a consistent jump shot, he's the best player in the world.
And we've seen him. He's been able to hit some mid-range shots with some of the best up there this year. So I mean,
he just has to work on the field goal percentage. Not the fact that he can hit him one, but his field goal percentage. If he can work on the outside perimeter shooting or outside shooting in general and get it at a high 40% or low 50% rating, I mean the guy's going to be phenomenal, right?
Yeah, if you just get to a level. You just get to a level where the team has to come out and guard you, because they have to respect that you can hit it. Then he's going to be unguardable, because then he'll be able to dribble right by him.
I will say though,
go ahead, Logan.
If he's able to get that 3-point shot, he'll just be in God mode, because ain't no way you're stopping him.
No,
I honestly think if Giannis
it's like creative player on 2K.
It really is. You max him out at 100.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I think if Giannis gets a halfway decent free throw shot and a good mid-range jumper, I think he starts scoring in the high 50s, like on average.
His free throw shooting has been better this year. His free throw shooting has been better this year.
Let me see what he's shooting this year. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Throw up that comment by Sander real quick. He said the Sixers haven't been playing good since the trade. They have. I mean,
I already had that up, but I agree, man. I don't know if that's is it a hard thing?
They did the first couple games, and that was it.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. Okay, yeah. So for Giannis, from the free throw line this year, he's shooting 72%. So I mean that's respectable, And
exactly. So now all he really needs to do is develop an outside jump shot, whether it be at the 3-point line or just anywhere in the midcourt. And I think that guy is going to blow up.
Well, the thing I like about Giannis is you see him improving. You see that he's working on his weaknesses.
Right.
Absolutely.
Some of the other players, you don't see them working on that. They just stick with what they're doing. He's trying to get better.
Right. He's actually he's averaging 3.6 3-pointers a game. So he's not afraid to shoot them. He's only shooting 29%, but he's shot around 30% his whole career from 3, nothing too spectacular, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, also when you shoot 55 or 56% from the field, whether it is mid-range shots or layups or dunks, I mean, hey, there's a reason he's a 2-time MVP, maybe 3.
I'll be honest with you, Logan. I'll be honest. The best big man from a skill set perspective, the best big man in the game, and his I know his points don't show it, but the best big man in the game is Joker, and I'll tell you why. He's got the skill set. Joker can shoot the outside. Joker can go inside. Joker can get you boards. Joker can get you assists. I mean, every aspect of his game, it's like having a 5-tool baseball player versus a 3-tool baseball player. And I feel like Embiid is a 3-tool baseball player, and I feel like Joker is a 5-tool. And a 5-tool, in my opinion, is so much more valuable than a 3-tool. Even though a 3-tool may get you 50 home runs, it's the other aspects of the game that he can't help you.
Right.
And I feel like if Giannis ever developed a really good, solid outside shot, not only is it going to open up the paint for him, but it's also going to open up the outside for him. And he will be able to, it's just going to open up his game so much more because now you know, okay, do I defend him on the high? Do I defend him on the low? I mean, how do I defend him? Because he can go anywhere. And that's what you got the epitome of the best.
You don't defend him. You just give up.
Exactly. You just, at best, you try to minimize as much damage as you can.
It's kind of like LeBron, I mean, my guy's the scoring leader at 37. He can do whatever you want to him, and he's still going to get 25 plus a night,
Yeah, absolutely. And but what I like about Joker is even if you shut him down, his ability to defend and his ability to rebound, his ability to assist just makes that team so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. And we're going to move on to the next topic. Red Sox plays Chris Sale on the DL signature. Logan, here's my thing. And also, Chris, here's my problem. Sale is a hell of a good pitcher. Everybody knows Sale is an amazing pitcher. But this man cannot stay healthy to save his freaking life.
Nope.
He's always on the damn DL. Gonzo, what do you see this year in the future of Chris Sale? What do you expect from him?
Well, I don't really know what to expect because is he how healthy is he going to be even when he comes back? I mean, a 60 day IL, that's a long time. So he's going to miss the first 2 months of the season right off the bat. And then if you do come back, it's going to take you probably another month to actually get where you're ready to pitch in a game more than a couple innings. So
right.
I really don't expect a whole lot out of him this year because of his injuries.
Right. And and the thing about it is, Logan, before I get to you, Chris Sale signed a 5-year, $145 million contract that includes $145 million guaranteed at an average of $29 million per year for a guy who basically sits on the DL the majority of the time. What a waste of money, Logan.
Yeah, I got his injury history pulled up here. So up until 2018, he was healthy, right? Nothing to really see here. But 2018, left shoulder inflammation, 10-day DL. 2019, hurt his elbow, out on the 60-day DL. 2020, same thing, hurt his elbow, 60-day DL. And then last year, 2021, elbow, 60-day DL. And then he had COVID when he did come back last year in September. He got COVID. And now here we are back again with arm injuries, which is the kiss of death if you're a pitcher.
Absolutely.
And it absolutely freaking sucks because with the White Sox, he's probably a top 5 pitcher in baseball. The Red Sox got him hoping he could continue that dominance. When he's on the mound, he's still good. But like you said, man, it's just an unfortunate case of you give a player who's at the time worth that money and injuries or performance or whatever for, many years as it's happened. He just doesn't live up to the hype. And that's kind of what we're seeing with Chris Sale, unfortunately, just because of those shoulder injuries that he's had. And you hate to see it, right? I hope he's going to come back this year. But, hopefully he can remain healthy, at least for the remainder of the season once he does return. Because, the Red Sox are going to need it if they're going to want to make a move in the East.
Does anybody know how old Chris Sale is?
Give me one sec. He is – hold on. It says his date of birth, but let's see.
33. Chris Sale is 33 years old.
And he's been in the big league since 2010. So, he's been in the league for a long time.
Oh, yeah. He's been in the league for, 12 years?
Yeah, 12 years. And he's only 30. So he came up when he was, 21, I think?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because 21 plus 12, that's 33. So, yeah, that's about exactly right. And so here's the deal. You got a guy who's 33.
Yeah, he's still got time.
He's got time. It's just a 33-year-old body that's had as much injury issues that it's had. I think, let's be honest. And I don't like to use words like load management, but I think with Chris Sale, you have to use load management. Because at 33 years old, if you've had this many injuries, how do you not put him on load management? Or how do you not monitor the innings that he pitches? You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
It's almost like if he don't get healthy this year, to me, it'd be almost time to turn him into like a middle reliever where he's only pitching 1 or 2 innings.
Yeah, I can see that too. Because hey, at the end of the day, that's what Smoltz did.
Yeah. He was a starter, went to the bullpen, then eventually once he got better, went back as a starter. And if the injuries if they keep continuing, hell, why not put him in a closer role? He'd probably be dominant.
Oh, absolutely. I think he'd be absolutely perfect in the closing role. And then you could prolong his career and prolong his health.
That might not be a bad idea. I'm not saying.
I guarantee you, for $145 million, I bet you get more out of him as a closer than you do him as a starter.
I would say I would give him one more shot. If he comes back, if he pitches well, if he remains healthy, fine. But if you get hurt one more time, you got to go to the pen. You're expendable at that point. You're injury prone, and you're not going to get that big contract anymore. So
yeah, absolutely,
because he's got electric stuff, and you only need him to get 3 to 6 outs. He can definitely do that.
Yeah, he could go to the bullpen and resurrect his career.
Yeah. You ain't wrong.
Yeah, nobody says he has to stay in the bullpen, but let's be honest. Going to the bullpen, Yeah, exactly. I think so. And I think it prolongs his career. But I think as a ball club, you're going to get more out of him at the end of the day because you're still look, that money's guaranteed. You got to pay him it. So at least he's on. Whatever time he's on the field is better than him not being on the field. I'm just saying. All right, folks. Let's see. Did I get that right? Did I go a 2 minute? No. Okay. Final predictions for the last week of the NBA season. And I know we've kind of already touched on this a little bit, but my final predictions, and I know I've already kind of touched on this. I think Miami, I think Philadelphia for some odd reason. I think Boston is going to slide out a little bit. I think Boston's going to slide down to. I think that the three best teams in the East are going to be Milwaukee. I think Miami is going to be there. And I think that the Sixers will be there. And I think Boston is going to be on the outside looking in just because Williams got hurt. And I don't think they have a really true big man to hold that up. But I think Miami kind of exposed Boston without Williams a little bit in the last game that they played. So at the end of the day, though, I still believe that nobody's going to take out Middleton, Drew Holiday's defense, and Giannis. I just think that's just too much. I think Harden is going to do Harden-like things in the playoffs, which is basically disappear but reappear and then disappear again on you. I think that Embiid is going to do Embiid-like things, which is going to get you 50 points. I think Maxey will do well. I think Tobias Harris will play decent, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be anywhere even close to being able to handle the champions. Because let's not forget that. They're still the champions, and the only piece that they lost was P.J. Tucker. Now, that's a big piece. Because that's your junkyard dog. That's your guy that motivates your club. That's the guy that gets you riled up. That's your Jay Crowder from the Phoenix Suns, if you will. Or your Mario Ellie from the Houston Rockets back in their championship days. They called him a junkyard dog. Y'all probably remember Mario Ellie. Y'all are too young. Maybe Gonzo remembers Mario Ellie, but there ain't too many. But that's what you need. And that's a pretty integral piece. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, Miami inherited P.J. Tucker and they got Lowry. So I think Miami is going to put up probably a pretty damn good fight. Matter of fact, I'm even going to go on a limb and say Miami and Milwaukee would be in the Eastern Conference Finals with Milwaukee taking it out. And I think it's going to be Phoenix, and it's going to – because on the Western Conference, I got Phoenix, Memphis, and Golden State still hold. I don't think anybody is going to defeat that three core group of people or teams. And I think it's going to be Memphis and Phoenix battling it out. But I think that Phoenix's experience and the fact that they upgraded the center position behind Ayton with McGee and Bismack or Bionmack or whatever that guy's name is. I think with those two guys behind Ayton is going to help Ayton not get into foul trouble. It's going to give him a little bit of a breather and make him more effective. And I think that combination – Memphis cannot, even with Steven Adams playing as well as Steven Adams is playing, I don't think he's going to be able to match up well at that position. And I think that Phoenix takes it at the end. And I think ultimately it's going to be Phoenix and Milwaukee. And I think that even though Ayton and Bismack and McGee may not be the better at that position versus Giannis, I think that they can contain him enough that Middleton and Booker and Chris Paul and the rest of the company, Bridges and all of them can do what they got to do. And I think Phoenix is finally going to give Chris Paul his long-awaited ring. Gonzo.
My final predictions. Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Because when you were talking about the Miami Heat, another thing I think a lot of people, because I think the Heat are serious contenders, and people are forgetting. They also have Victor Oladipo.
That's true. Oh, is he back? Is Oladipo
he's back? Yeah, he's back. He had a game winner the other night for him. He's back. Okay. You added that's another decent defender, another guy that's capable of scoring 20, 25 points in a game. Yeah. So, I mean, to me, that adds a lot more depth to Miami.
Yeah, it does. It does. Miami has incredible depth. The only thing that I think Miami is hard on is I think it's just in their height. They have Adebayo, but I mean, who really can they have in the paint outside of Adebayo? I just don't know if they have enough height.
Yep, I agree. I think it's going to be the Bucks and the Suns in the finals, And I think Chris Paul finally gets his ring this year. That's what I think. But I agree with you. The Grizzlies are going to be a tough out, and I'll tell you who else is going to be a tough out: the Denver Nuggets. I know they have injuries.
Really?
I know they have some injuries, but man, I'm never going to count Jokic completely.
Oh no, I get it. And I get that. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I got a follow-up question after this. Before we go to the next topic, I got a follow-up question for you guys. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Denver, man, you know what? And I feel bad for Joker because Mike Conley is a good guy, you know, and they have Aaron Gordon and so forth.
Just think if Murray and Michael Porter Jr. were healthy and the way Jokic is playing, Denver would be one. They might be the number one seed. They probably be definitely probably top 4.
Oh, absolutely. Could you imagine if Joker was on Miami?
Oh
my God. Ooh. Oh my God. I'm just saying. Anyway, Logan, your thoughts.
Guys, you know, I've been the lone active member of Unscripted. I know Frankie's not here. That is said, the Lakers will make the play-in game. And since I said that, they went on a 6-game losing streak. So as of tonight,
hey, don't switch sides. Don't switch sides because then they might go on a winning streak.
He said, "Stay where you are."
I think that dream is dead, gentlemen. And let me tell you why. Tonight, they play the human wrecking ball known as the Phoenix Suns.
Yep.
Then they go on to play the Splash Bros in the Golden State Warriors.
God almighty, man.
Then what should be an easy game, but they've proven it this year they can't do it. The babyface OKC Thunder. And then finally, as the final low blow to end the year, the Denver Nuggets on April 10th.
Wow. Yeah. You can go ahead and mark them out.
And they would probably have to win what? 3 of the, or at least 4.
They got to win all of them.
Because currently they're
2 games back.
They're 2 games back of the Spurs.
And the Spurs hold the tiebreaker.
And the Spurs, their final game, let me get that pulled up real quick.
Yeah, the Lakers have the toughest schedule out of the Spurs, them, and the Pelicans.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the Lakers have to win
easy either. The Spurs don't have it easy either, to be fair.
Yeah, they don't have it easy, but I think the Lakers are a little tougher.
Right. They play Denver tonight. They play Minnesota on the 7th. They play Golden State on the 9th. And then end the season out for the Spurs. They play Dallas on April 10th.
But let me ask you guys a question. Logan, let me ask you this. But didn't LeBron already kind of come out and say, hey, I'm not playing anymore this year?
That was April Fool's joke, but it turned out to be a reality. He played tonight. Because he tweeted on it was an April Fool's joke. Yeah. Then he played the next night. Then he hurt his ankle. And now, so he's not playing tonight, and that's why I'm saying this, because he is not playing tonight. Yeah, and my God, if LeBron James hasn't played, let's just say if he was out the whole season, the Lakers would probably be one of the top 5 worst teams in the league.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
There's no doubt in my mind.
I think by default, we can already say that they are.
I'm going to say this.
What's up?
This might be a hot take, but I don't think LeBron James is going to play another game with the Lakers.
Oh, damn, that is a pretty hot take. That's a hot take.
You think they're going to trade him, Gonzo? Because he's still on contract.
I think he's going to demand to get out, and I think he's going back to Cleveland.
Oh my God, Gonzo!
Cleveland has a good young team. I think he's going to go back to Cleveland and then try to get his boy to Cleveland and win and play there.
Let me tell you something, Gonzo. Gonzo, number one, that take is so damn hot. I had to go get 4 pairs of oven mitts just to hold that pan.
I'm about to say, Jesus Christ, I wasn't expecting
that.
But
let me say this: if that's true, if he does what Gonzo's speculating, how much do you think people are going to respect LeBron for that?
Oh, they're not. You're gonna see all over. They're gonna burn his jerseys. They're gonna deface his murals. I mean, God, his school's probably gonna get repainted.
How do you go to a franchise, ruin it, and then leave?
It'd be like when he left Cleveland, when everybody was burning his jerseys and stuff. It'd be the same thing, but it'd be LA people.
It'd be worse because it's in LA.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think he's going to demand a trade. Look how he's left every team. Every team he's left has been they're no good.
That's true. He guts them. So he said if the Lakers lose tonight and the Spurs win, the Lakers are finished. Plus, they lose 2 more games, they're done no matter what. I don't see them winning. I don't see them winning 2 of those last 4 or 5 games. I don't see it happening. So I'm calling it now. The Lakers are finished. Anthony Davis came back too late, and he still hasn't proven to be that star player that the Lakers thought he was going to be. And so, yeah. Sorry, Freddie. Sorry, Frankie.
You know what's interesting to me is before, or I should say, when the Lakers won their championship in the bubble, people looked at Anthony Davis and they revered him, I think, to a certain level. Would you agree?
Yep.
And since the bubble experience, would you say that people now look at Anthony Davis and he's like a joke?
I wouldn't say a joke.
I mean a joke in terms of people don't fear him anymore. Not that he's a joke as a person. I'm just saying that they don't revere him anymore. Like he's not like, oh my God, now it's just like, it's Anthony Davis, whatever.
I think he became overrated. And then they realized it, and now they've backed off a little bit.
I'm going to go even further. I don't think Anthony Davis is a true number one player anymore.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't think so.
Because what was the narrative whenever the Lakers got him? Is LeBron was going to get older and Davis was going to be the one to step up. And now LeBron is 37, leading the league in scoring, and Davis has only played in a handful of games this year. It has not worked. It's a lot of money. You have the worst contract in the NBA with Russell Westbrook. Him and John Wall are the worst contract, I would say, because at least Westbrook's playing. But so I think the Lakers are done. Also, just some other takes before we get to that question there by Iverson Vlogs. I still think it's crazy that the Nets are in the play-in game. I think they're going to get knocked out. Oh, I don't see them making it to the conference finals. I don't see the Nets doing it. He said, "What's your bold prediction for the playoffs? What do you think might happen?" Oh, I'll give you a bold one. I'll give you my team. The Hawks are going to repeat going to the conference finals. That's my bold take. I didn't even think about that.
I'll give you a bold one.
I got another one too. Go ahead, Chris.
Memphis Grizzlies win it all.
I got one.
I can see that happening.
How about Chicago gets knocked out in the first round?
Oh, that would! Oh my God! I think there are 3 people at ASAP to be so pissed and hurt.
Because at the moment they would be playing. Who is? I think Philadelphia or Milwaukee or no? Is it 5 and 6 play right? I think that's how it works.
Yes.
Yeah, because 1 and 8, 5 and 2 and 6. Well, whoever it is. Because them and Toronto have the exact same record at the moment. So, I mean, they could drop to 6, and then they'd be playing Milwaukee.
4 and 5 play each other.
Okay.
I'm going to give you my bold prediction. Hey, I'm going to give you my bold prediction. I think Dallas Mavericks are a dark horse that rise up.
Iverson has his sons winning it all. I will go a bold. I'll go bold because why not? We're going a little crazy tonight. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves make it out in the first round. No one's talking about them. They could be that sleeper team.
I just don't know about them.
Hey, I don't know. You never know, man.
But you know what though? But I love Karl Anthony Towns. I love Cat. I think Cat is so underrated.
Also, let's not forget they got defending Rookie of the Year, Anthony Edwards.
Hey, what do you think that Minnesota would ever trade Karl Anthony Towns, even for like I said, Anthony Davis?
They would have done it by now. They would have done it by now.
Yeah. I wonder what's gonna. You know what? I wonder what's gonna happen next year. What are the Lakers gonna do going into next season? I'm really curious to see what this team does because they are so
crazy, Jay.
Bad.
Because I don't know how many people, but I can say without a shadow of doubt, probably over 50% of their roster is on a 1-year contract. So maybe 1 or 2 of them get re-signed. I'm not going to say who because I don't know who they are. But I think obviously you're going to keep LeBron. I don't know. Hey, I mean, Chris, I don't know what you got over there, but you might need to give me some of that. But I think that the 3 guys they're going to build around next year, LeBron is going to be Anthony Davis and Malik Monk, not Russell Westbrook.
If they, I don't see him getting rid of Westbrook. Who's going to take Westbrook's contract next year?
Oh God, Hey, couple of
things.
You know who I
think is if they have a buyout. That is the only way they can do that is if they have a buyout. And I don't know, man, because I think if I'm Russell Westbrook, I am dying to get out of that organization. I will.
Hey, couple of things. Hey, 2 things real quick. To Gonzo's point, Iverson Vlog says, you know what? Screw it. Denver Nuggets eliminate the Golden State Warriors in 7 games. And Gonzo, I could honestly, depending on the health of Draymond, depending on the health of Clay, depending on the health of Steve
Wiseman ain't there.
Curry.
Who's going to stop Jokic?
I'm just saying it can happen. I mean, because they don't have Wiseman.
No.
I'm just saying that could go towards Gonzo's prediction that our bold statement that the Nuggets make it into that. So
Damian
hot take, Spurs make the plays and go to the final.
The second half, that's the hot take, is that Pop retires.
Man, if that happens, that's gonna be so. Hey, that's hot. You know what? I might need welder glasses on because I don't even think I can look at that.
If the Lakers keep if LeBron don't leave the Lakers, I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of Westbrook. I think they're going to end up getting rid of Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, gentlemen.
Here's a question.
Here's a question I want to ask you guys. For the next 5 years, pretty much, they have no one they can draft. You're screwed there. Who's going to want to go there in free agency?
Exactly. That's what I want to pose to you guys.
That's why LeBron's gone, because nobody's going to want to come there. He's leaving.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so here's a question, and this is for even Damian, Iverson, whoever else is in the comments. This is kind of like for both. This is for everybody. So when we look at the Lakers where they are currently, and as Logan and everybody clearly knows, they have no draft capital to play with. Only thing they have is Anthony Davis's contract and LeBron James' contract. That's really all they have to work with in terms of where they can take this team. Now, they're going to lose probably a lot of these people on one-year deals. Or maybe they decide, I don't know. But how do the Lakers take themselves from no draft picks, 2 guys under contract, everybody else on one-year deals? Gonzo, I want you to go first. Logan, I want you to wrap this up. Gonzo, how can the Lakers turn this around? Or if you think they can't turn it around, do they go to rebuild mode? What is your thoughts?
Oh, I think Lakers are going to be in rebuild mode because I think they're either going to lose LeBron or they're going to lose Anthony Davis.
Ooh, that's a bold one there. Russell to the Knicks for Kemba, Evan Fournier, and a draft pick.
Man, if that happens, God help the Knicks. They're not going nowhere.
Yeah, I think the Lakers are going to be in rebuild mode because like you said, you have a lot of players on one-year deals. It's going to be a whole new looking team for sure.
I'm going to go with another bold take because since Chris is going off the rails, I'm going to go there too. Anthony Davis gets traded. He's expendable. He can still work if you need him to. I know he's injury prone, but he's got a lot more. He's got a lot more that you can get for him than Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
If you trade him, get some draft picks, get a handful of players that are young, not 45, and that you can help build around.
And Davis's contract is a tradable contract.
I think that would probably be the best move, honestly. If they want to speed up the rebuild, trade Anthony Davis.
That's why I say either LeBron or Davis is gone. Maybe both.
Imagine
let's be honest.
how much leading the Lakers next year? Yeah.
Yeah, I my prediction for the Lakers, truthfully, is rebuild. I don't think that we're going to see the Lakers in serious contention or serious talks for at least the next 4 to 5 years. I'm predicting that.
Give me 1 sec.
They've hurt
I gotta
themselves.
see when their next draft pick is.
They've hurt themselves by getting rid of all their young players, all their young prospects,
and all the young players, for the most part, have done very well.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. So, let's see.
They gave up on Lonzo Ball and some of them guys too early.
Oh my God.
Let them guys. Let them guys develop.
They don't even got a draft pick this year. They don't got a draft pick this year.
No.
Next year, they got one in the second round. Just one. 24, they don't got one. The next time they get a first round pick, gentlemen, 2025.
Yeah. And that's my
3
point.
years from now.
And that's my point.
That's when all this is going to be over. Because this year, the Pelicans, the Anthony Davis trade, the Wizards, Kuzma and all them, right? Yep. Then you go next year, 23, Pelicans, same thing. Oh, my God.
Hey, Logan, I want you to look up something for me, will you please? And I don't even know if this is even feasible to look up. It may be too much, but do we know what free agents are available next year to be signed?
In general or just on the Lakers?
No, not the Lakers in the league, because we already know the Lakers suck. So my thing is this: my theory is the only saving grace for the Lakers would be to get rid of the 1-year contracts, or at least the ones that they know they don't need, and try to see who they can secure in free agency. Because we all know Lakers will spend money and maybe rebuild that way.
So I didn't know. Okay, I forgot this. So current free agents. This is just a list of players. John Wall, he has a player option. James Harden. Well, I mean, he signed that contract, but player option. Russell Westbrook has a player option. He might decline it. If I was Russell, I would decline that contract.
Hey Jay.
Go somewhere else.
Free agency starts on August 2nd at 6:00 Eastern time.
August 2nd, 6:00. I'm gonna remember that one.
All right. Bradley Beal has a player option. Kyrie has a player option. Zach LaVine, Ricky Rubio, Andre Iguodala, Thaddeus Young, Joe Ingles, Tyrion Prince, Yusuf Nurkic, TJ Warren, Robert Covington, Jeremy Lamb, DeAndre Ayton, Derek Favors, Serge Ibaka, Montrezl Harrell, Marvin Bagley III. I mean, PJ Tucker. It's not a stat class. Let's be honest. This is not a who's who.
Who they going to get that's going to help them? There ain't nobody out there that's going to turn them into a.
You know what though? I will say this. I do like the Montrezl Harrell out there.
I don't think he's not going back. He's not going back to the Lakers.
You don't think he'll go back?
Nah, he didn't like it there.
No, he probably had his worst. He had his worst season there.
I just know Montrezl Harrell is remember I told you about the Jay Crowder and the PJ Tucker. He's that kind of guy for you.
Well, he was for the Clippers, but for some reason he wasn't for the Lakers.
I don't know what happened. The Lakers I don't know, man. And maybe that's he was there with LeBron, correct?
Yes.
I don't know, man. People when they play with LeBron, if they excel or they don't, it just kind of depends.
I will go my final thought on this so that we can move on, Jay.
Yeah.
I think Russell Westbrook will decline his player option and go somewhere else. I don't think he's going to take the money. I think he is done with LA. I think that he will give up the $40 million or whatnot and go play somewhere else. If I was him, I would. Because, my God.
You can give up $40 million, Logan.
If I'm Russell Westbrook, I want to go somewhere and rebuild my name.
Logan, let me ask you this.
I'm playing bench me. You're paying me my $40 million.
I'm about to say, listen, Logan. I got $40 million in my hand. You're going to have to kill me before you can pull that out of this hand.
Because he's not going to get that anywhere else. If he leaves, he's not going to get that kind of contract.
I'm telling you, Russell Westbrook is done. Nobody's going to give him that kind of money. His reputation has taken too much of a hit.
Okay, well, I'll add to that then. If he re-signs for that 1 year, they'll pull the John Wall and send him the whole year.
Yeah, I can see that.
Get paid $40 million.
Hey, I'll sit on the bench and get $40 million. Hell yeah. I'm going to go on vacation every other day. And by the way, Damon, I can't get this stupid comment to pull up for whatever reason, but
it's up now, Jay. I don't know what you're looking at.
Oh, there he goes. Now it's up there. Russ to Houston? No. Well,
bring him back.
You know what? Maybe I wouldn't ever release it because he's only got 1 year left. So maybe I'm going to take that on for 1 year, deal with it. I got to deal with John Wall anyway. I'll deal with it, and then I'll get rid of it, and then I'll be done. I'm just done.
You want John Wall and Russell Westbrook on the same team?
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if he says Russ to Houston, it would have to be for a John Wall trade. So yeah. And then there better be a pick or two in there. That's all I'm saying.
Let's keep it moving.
All right, folks, we're gonna move on to the next topic, which is, if I can get it to come down, which team has the most approved in the NFL draft? And I'm going to say most likely, God, who has the most approved in the draft? I mean,
this one.
You know what? I got to think on this because I've been thinking about this all day and I still don't have my answer yet. So, Logan, I'm going to go in reverse order. Logan, go ahead and tell me who you think.
The New York Giants. They have two picks within the top 10.
That's a good one.
Number 5 and 7. You have to hit on those. If you want, you can go wherever the hell you want. You can get an offensive lineman. You can get a defensive back. You can get a defensive end. You can get a quarterback. I don't think they will, but you can get a quarterback. So I think for me, the Giants have the most approved with those two picks in the top 10.
Yeah, you're right. God,
that's what I'm going with.
Damn.
That's a real good one. I would go with.
I don't know if you can top that. Gonzo.
I'd go with the Eagles.
Yeah,
that's not a bad one.
After making that trade, and you have the 15th and 18th pick, and I mean, to me, after you make a trade like that, you're under pressure. You have to prove that you can pick the right players.
And I think that, well, first of all, Logan, nobody's going to top you. That actually is the best answer. At 2 picks in the top 10, and given what you have and getting where you need to go, you're right. They had the most to prove because there's a plethora of players out there that can help this team at those 2 particular picks. So I hope they don't screw it up. So outside of Logan having the best answer and getting the trophy, I was going to go with Gonzo and say the Eagles. But, honestly, the more I look at it, I don't think it's necessarily a right or wrong at the second spot behind Logan, because the Eagles got 15 and 18, and the Saints got 16 and 19. So to be honest with you, I think it's almost a wash between the Eagles and the Saints as to who can come up with the better picks at those positions, because they're one right behind the other, and they're within the top 20. So, I think the Saints, in my opinion, had the most to prove, just because I feel like they're still behind the 8 ball in terms of receivers and what they need to get to make that team better. I think the Eagles kind of already have a little bit more established than they do, but they have a better drafting position at 15 and 18. So I think ultimately it's a wash between the Saints and the Eagles behind the Giants. I really do. I think those 3 teams had the most to prove, just because of how many draft picks they have and where they're drafting.
If originally I was going to go with the Jets because they also have 2 picks in the top 10, but I still think the Jets are a couple of years behind.
Bro, you know what? I would say the Jets too, but the Jets, Logan, every year the Jets screw it up. So I don't ever pick the Jets on anything.
That's why I didn't go with them.
No, I wouldn't go with them because they screwed up
the
every
New York
time.
team.
So there you have it, folks. That is our predictions for who has the most to prove in the NFL draft. Logan has New York. Gonzo has the Eagles at 15 and 18, and I got the Saints at 16 and 19. So it's going to be curious to see who actually does make the most out of what they have to draft from. Number 1 pick, Spencer Torkelson makes his Tiger rosters debut. All right, so it actually makes the rosters. I should say makes the roster. I apologize. I shouldn't add to it. Here's what I got on Torkelson, and this is why I think this is really, really interesting to me in terms of them bringing him up so fast. He got drafted in 2020, the number 1 pick. He was first. He's first base, third base, and outfield. Those are the 3 positions that he plays: first, third, and outfield. His AAA average was 267, and he played 40 games in AAA. So 40 games in AAA, he batted 267 average on 147 at-bats. He had 30 home runs, 70 walks, and 114 strikeouts. He's got a 383 on-base percentage and a 552 slugging percentage. And if you count the time out of college, if you count the time that he spent in AAA, AA, and single A ball, it comes out to 121 games. 121 games. So you're telling me that a guy coming out of college, he's the number 1 pick. He can play multiple positions. He hit 267 in AAA ball on 40 games. He's got 121 games to his career in AAA, AA, single A, minor league ball. And you're ready to bring him up and throw him to the Wolves. I don't know, folks. I mean, hey, good for the Tigers. I mean, hopefully, A.J. Hinch, I respect A.J. Hinch. He's a good manager. He did great with the Astros. I don't care what anybody says about 2017. The Astros are still a hell of a good team with A.J. Hinch. A.J. Hinch is a good manager out there in Detroit. And but I'm a little leery. I'm a little leery on 121 games, and you want to bring him up and throw him to the Wolves. But I'm going to rely on the expertise of A.J. Hinch, that he knows much, much, much better than I do. But I think that Torkelson, and I'm going to follow him, Torkelson this season will be something to watch and see how he does transition into Major League Baseball. 147 games. 121 games out of college. Gonzo, your thoughts?
I think they're bringing him up awful quick. But you see some teams do that, then you see other teams that don't. Like the Reds still have Hunter Green, who was a first draft pick overall, like Torkelson, and hopefully they're finally going to use him this year in the majors. They haven't brought him up yet.
Right.
Which he was a pitcher and like a shortstop, but I think they're just using him as a pitcher. Torkelson, I mean, he only played 121 games in the minor league, but he did play 129 games in college as well. So I mean, I know college isn't quite college isn't at the level as AAA. Don't get me wrong, but he still has played a lot of baseball. But it's going to come down to. It's just the game has changed because usually a guy hitting 267, you probably wouldn't be bringing him up. I mean, if you go back 10 years ago, 267, they're probably not bringing you up this quick. But now at 267, if you have some power, you're getting brought up.
I mean, he does have 30 home runs in AAA, and I don't want to take that away from his credit, but he also has 114 strikeouts.
I mean, honestly, Jay.
They don't care about
that isn't a big red flag for me anymore just because it's so common.
Yep. They don't even care about strikeouts anymore.
No, teams don't. They don't.
But Logan, do you think with a 267 average, 121 games, I'm not going to put his college in there, Gonzo. I'm just not because it's college ball. Okay, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
But minor league ball. But minor league ball, and Gonzo, that's no discredit of what you're saying. I don't want to discredit that because college ball is still college ball and it is competitive. I don't want to take away from that, Gonzo. But I'm just saying at the minor league level, where now you're getting paid, even though let's be honest, the minor league doesn't get paid a whole hell of a lot.
I was gonna say not much.
They don't. They get paid barely above a McDonald's worker. Let's be honest. But do you think that the 267 average is? Do you think that he's ready at only 40 games of AAA? Do you think he's ready for the minors at 40 games of AAA ball?
I'm sorry, Damien Hernandez comment. He said, "Don't matter, the Tigers are still going to suck like every Detroit sports team." I will say this, Jay. I applaud Detroit for being super aggressive this season. They got Javier Baez. They just got Austin Meadows last night from the Rays. And now they're bringing up their number 1 overall pick from just 2 seasons ago. Personally, I would have probably had him maybe be in the minors until the All-Star break and see how your team's doing. If your team's struggling, sure, bring him up. If your team's excelling, maybe bring him up for a September call-up. But I overall like the move. I think that it's kind of a sink or swim, right? Because if it don't work out, Jay, you know what you can do? Option him right back down.
But here's the deal with that, Logan. This is what scares me about that for him is the fact that when you come up from minors to the majors and you don't succeed at the majors and you're going to go back down to the minors, I feel like that messes with the guy's confidence. Mm-hmm. And I think you can almost ruin a guy by doing that.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I mean, we've seen guys who come up for a cup of coffee, do great, or struggle, they get sit down and they never, you never hear from them again.
To Logan's point, I do like that Detroit's being aggressive because, like, I'm a Reds fan and we have plenty of money to spend and we don't do it. So I'd rather the team be aggressive and take a chance. At least they're trying to get more competitive.
And that's the thing, though. I'm okay with aggressiveness and free agency and things of that nature to accelerate your team. I'm okay with the aggressiveness in that aspect. But I'm just more careful with bringing somebody up out of AAA ball who's never played professional major league ball at only 40 games. I'm just a little bit leery about that. And I think that sometimes their aggressiveness can either be good or it can be bad. And if you bring him up too soon, it could ruin him permanently, and then you're back to square one for the Detroit Tigers. And for him, it's the end of his career because nobody's going to believe in him because he done screwed up and his confidence is shot. And as a hitter, if you don't have confidence as a hitter, you're not going anywhere. And that's basically what they're banking on him as a hitter and also at the multiple positions at which he can play. So I think for Detroit, I agree with the aggressiveness of free agency. I just hope they're being calculated, doing their due diligence, doing their homework, and being strategic, and not rushing somebody to the major league level that's not ready for it. I hope they're not doing that. That's just my biggest fear.
Like John Suggs says, it might mess with their confidence some, but they make the same amount of money they were making in MLB when they got bumped back down. So pay raise will be nice.
The thing about that, Logan, is
that's not gonna money is money, but Jay is talking about more on the field and how you're doing there. Not I get that your confidence might go down a little bit if you get sent down for bad play, but everyone knows this is a business. I mean, it is what it is. But I will say, CJ, and then I'll end my point. Teams are being more aggressive, bring up their prospects. The Rays are doing it a lot. The Kansas City Royals just brought up their number one overall prospect who got drafted in 2019. Torkelson, number one overall pick in 2020. And I mean, that's not really what we've seen for baseball. They usually you let these guys sit in the minors for a couple of seasons, multiple seasons, and then you hear from them. But I mean, I think it's just kind of the youth movement that you're seeing in MLB, where these guys who are 20, 21, 22, 23, they are some of the best players in the game. I mean, Tatis and Acuna are under 25, and they're already top 10 players in the MLB. So I think what organizations around the league are doing is they're seeing the success of other teams, and they're saying, hey, we've got these prospects. Let's see if they can attribute like those other guys have. And, only time will tell. But overall, like I said, I hope that Spencer does well. And you got a heck of a teacher in Miguel Cabrera, who's going to be there for one more year, who can teach him a lot of things. So I think that might be another reason too, right? Is because you want Miggy, Triple Crown winner and MVP all around, to teach this young guy, hopefully the next future franchise first baseman of of the Tigers, a lot about the game and a lot about how he can improve in just Cabrera's final year, probably.
And I get that. I guess for me, and before we go, we're going to go on the next topic here real quick. But for me, the biggest thing for me is I just wish that I could see a bigger sample size to evaluate him to see if he's ready than just 40 games. I think 40 games is such a small sample size that I think you're either a hit or a miss. It's like they're playing the lottery. We're going to throw him up there at 40 games, but it can go left or it can go right real quick and in a hurry. So I don't know. For me personally, I would like to see a little bit bigger sample size of games before I made that decision. But hey, neither here nor there. Torkelson, guess what, guy? You're in the
big leagues.
Welcome to the big leagues. I really do, from the bottom of my heart, hope that you make it. WWD Monday Night Raw recap. Okay, hey, listen, folks. This is the last topic of the night, and I'm pretty sure Logan is past his bedtime and thanking the Lord that we made it to the last topic. Yeah. So here we go, guys. Monday Night Raw. This is what I captured. I captured a couple of different things. Obviously, AJ Styles went up against the Priest, went up against Edge again a little bit this evening, and looked pretty good against them both. You had Cody Rhodes and Rollins. For some reason, I don't understand how they're going to play this. Now, I really thought we were going to see a Cody Rhodes and freaking Rollins. I thought there was going to be a little bit of a rift there. I thought they were going to have a rivalry. I thought it was going to be some kind of a grudge match or, some kind of storyline along that nature. But for some reason, they got them making up. And I don't know where they're planning on going with this. It's going to be very interesting. Then I see Ripley gets beat up by Sasha and what's that girl's name, Logan?
Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi. She gets beat up by and loses that match. And then we got Ezekiel, who I thought was who apparently Kevin Owens thought was Urias. Am I right with Urias, correct?
Elias.
Elias. Urias, Elias. I knew it was something along that line. So apparently there's some kind of beef, as is Ezekiel really Elias? Ezekiel says he's the younger brother. Logan, I think he looks like a porn star from the early 70s. It's interesting to see where that storyline goes. We saw tonight, The Miz go up against Dominic. Is it Dominic? Mysterio? Dominic Mysterio, and got the quick KO over Dominic real quick. And we saw a few other things. We saw Edge tonight. We saw Roman Reigns a little bit tonight on Monday Night Raw. We saw Bianca Belair come out and talk about being the champion and about how she had she of course took the glasses off and she showed her one bad eye, but she said, "You know what, guys? I'm still the fucking champion."
Well, I'm sorry, what was that, Jay? You gotta remember we are on ASAP now.
Oh, she's still the freaking champion.
There we go. We'll edit that out and post, everybody.
But no, hey, listen, Raw pretty much, I don't know. Raw tonight.
I'm gonna clip that.
We had Bobby Lashley come out and face up against Omos. And then we saw Bobby Lashley's manager basically say, "Oh, you can do it. You don't need me." Basically, his manager said, "Is the MVP? Is that his manager, MVP?" MVP was basically saying like, "Oh, you don't need me." And so he basically backstabs Bobby Lashley, hits him from behind. Bobby Lashley goes down. And then basically MVP tells Omos to finish off Bobby Lashley in the ring. And basically Omos has his way with Bobby Lashley. And that's pretty much the majority of what I took out of it. There was a few other fights that kind of went on, but nothing really in my opinion that really mattered. But we saw the Bobby Lashley issue. I thought was a pretty big deal. We kind of saw that KO and kind of had his deal with Ezekiel. And then we saw a little bit of Cody, I guess, coming to some sort of peace truce or some sort of agreement with Rollins. I don't know. I thought it was all in all, it was a pretty good Monday Night Raw following up on WrestleMania. Gonzo, what was your opinion?
I thought the Cody Rhodes promo was real good. I think they're going to do something with him and Rollins again. I think that was just more of a show of respect.
Never trust a handshake in wrestling, Jay. Never trust it.
That was just a show of respect.
That's where you got a point. That's true.
And that was a pretty emotional promo that Cody Rhodes did too, talking about his dad and all that. I think they're going to I think WWE is going to give Cody a big push. I think he'll end up eventually being the champion. We'll work up to it. I really like the Roman Reigns promo at the end. But one thing real quick, what was the last thing that Roman Reigns said last night? Because I'm watching it, see his whole promo, and then all of a sudden my TV went out.
Oh, I can say the last thing he said, Chris, acknowledge me.
Acknowledge me.
I missed the end of his promo, but
yeah, you didn't miss much.
I thought that
he just
promo
said that
was
he
good.
said that Friday on SmackDown, you'll see what his next plans are. I don't know if you got that far, but
yeah, no, I thought it was a pretty good Raw after Mania. They were starting to set up the stories for WrestleMania Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in seeing if they're going to do any more with McAfee. Because
we'll see.
The way the crowd went, man, I could definitely see them getting him back in the ring as much as they can.
I think they should really get him back in the ring for pay-per-views only.
Yep.
Because he's not. I don't know. What do you classify him as? Because he's not a celebrity, but he's also not a wrestler. He's kind of a mix of in between.
Yeah, he's
really good.
Yeah, he's different.
Really good.
He's different because he's something we haven't seen. Because, like you said, he's not just a celebrity, but he's just he's just an athlete.
I will say one of the best moments was him getting at WrestleMania, getting the headset on, talking trash while beating up. That was awesome.
He's all commentate my own match. I was rolling.
Hey, real quick, I didn't get to see this because my DVR didn't go as long. But Damien Hernandez,
you're not going to see these, Jay.
Huh?
You don't. Dark matches are only for the live viewers at the show. They don't put those on TV.
Well, how the hell did Damien Hernandez see it?
Because people have Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I was just thinking. Okay.
Yes, I did see that, Damien. I did. That was a nice tribute for them, for their former friends, but in the other organizations. Looking at Raw, like I said, Cody came out, delivered a promo that I've seen before. If you've watched AEW, you know that this isn't new, but it's just new for this audience. Like I say, he's going for the title. Rollins came out and said, I'm going to shake your hand, but that don't mean this is over. I could definitely see, maybe a tag match or something, and Rollins beats him up and says, I want my win back, blah, blah, blah. Then after that, like you said, we move on We got the new tag champ, the women's tag champs with Sasha and Naomi going up against Morgan and Ripley. And at the end, right, Naomi and Sasha got the win. And then you saw Rhea Ripley look a little bit dejected, look a little bit pissed off, and walked out frustrated. So there might be something there. You never know. Then we see, just continue that, you see him backstage. And I don't know how this happened, Chris, because they lost. They already lost to the tag champs, but they get a tag team championship match next week. So how that happens, I have no clue. But I think that's where you're going to see the split between them. That's the only reason. And you'll see Ripley go on her own, because I don't see them. I don't know.
One of the rumors I've seen is that Ripley is going to join Edge's faction.
Yeah, I did see that, because I don't know if you caught this, Jay, but Edge was, he wore purple last night. He had the purple lighting and whatnot. And for Ripley's backstage promo, there was a little purple light behind her. Just, you had to look and see it. So that could be something. She could be joining that faction. That'd be pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing. I do like what they're doing with Edge right now.
Yeah, I like it. Something new. So then, like I said, that was nothing. It was a decent match, or nothing crazy. Kevin Owens comes out, and you see Ezekiel, who is that was something. That was the most generic person I've seen in a long time.
Right.
Oh my god! Like, he came out to the most generic music, had the most generic looking tights, and that's someone who desperately needs a beard and not have one. Yeah, Jay Elias, which is who he really is. Forget all the whole brother crap, right? He used to have a long beard like you, like Chris, and he was a musician. He'd come out and sing songs on his guitar as a heel, which was really good, but we haven't seen him in like 6+ months. So he comes out as Elias's younger brother or whatever, and he looks as bland as a piece of paper. So we'll see what happens with that.
His gimmick for, because I liked it. I liked what he was doing before he.
Because right now his gimmick is he's my brother. Like, I don't know. Well, like I said, it's too early to tell with that.
Are they going to try to bring Elias back too? At some point?
Turns out it really is his brother. It's like Kurt Angle and his brother. It's real.
I mean, hell, hey, The Undertaker wrestled The Undertaker once, so who knows what they'll do.
Yeah, that is true. Kane wrestled Kane. Wrestling's crazy. Diesel wrestled fake Diesel. Wrestling's insane. Dominic got squished in 30 seconds from The Miz. I don't know why this was a match. But then you saw the debut of Veer Mahan finally after 9 months of promos of him, or vignettes saying he's going to. Yes, Jay, we're not kidding. It's been 9 months. He finally showed up looking the same as he always did, which I was like, bro, okay. He beat up the Mysterios. Him and Ray have a match next week on Raw. So it looks like that's going to be a little small feud they got.
Right.
Like I said, Bianca came out and showed off her shiner on the face where she got booted. Basically just saying, this is why I'm the champ and no one's going to take this title. Pretty good promo. Just hyping the crowd up. We saw the NXT Championship being defended on Raw, which is Braun Breaker and Dolph Ziggler, a rematch from Saturday. I don't know why they didn't save this for NXT, but, it is what it is. I guess just to gauge how Braun would do on the main roster and the reactions and everything.
Interesting that they had Breaker and Ziggler come out on WWE Raw.
Yeah, they had
with their match. And correct me if I'm wrong, actually Breaker took away the championship, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, Breaker is the new champion, 2-time champ now, I believe.
That's what really surprised me is that they didn't have him win the title on NXT.
I'm about to say, you had 3 days ago at the pay-per-view. Why didn't you have...
No, but does it really surprise you? Because, put it on WWE is a bigger stage, I feel like, for them to have that title broadcasted out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that Raw and SmackDown are more watched than NXT. But, to mine and Chris's point, NXT is kind of its own brand. You don't really see many guys from Raw and SmackDown go down there.
Right, exactly. And that's the whole point. So your point is it's not really building up NXT, but at the same time, Vince McMahon... Vince McMahon knows that NXT is a farm system. So I don't know if he really cares about the farm system as much as he cares about the major brand. And if Breaker is going to come, but if Breaker is going to come to WWE, then maybe it's better for him to win the title on WWE and then have him make the transfer over.
I mean, we'll see how that goes. But like I say, obviously he's going to remain in NXT for the time being.
Yeah, I'm watching NXT right now, so something will probably happen with that tonight, I would say.
Hey, by the way, is anybody here surprised about J-Max developing skills at wrestling? Is anybody here surprised about that? I don't think so. I'm doing pretty good.
I say you're growing on us, Jay. You're getting.
I got senseis. Hey, listen, if you don't know, Gonzo is my sensei at wrestling. Logan is my sensei, and Frankie C is my sensei. I got 3 pretty good senseis that teaching me wrestling.
We're teaching you a lot. Yeah, like I said, MVP turned on Lashley. We knew there was a reason he wasn't at Mania, and this is why. Yep. Turned on Lashley, his longtime confidant, Mrs. Friend, whatever it is. He's with the big guy in Omos now. We'll see how that goes.
I think that's a good move, though, because Omos needs a mouthpiece.
Right. We saw another tag team breakup. That's where you had 2 breakups back-to-back segments. Carmella and Queen Zelina got into a fight. Afterward, Carmella didn't really care and started making out with Corey Graves on commentary. That was, I could have gone without that. Blah, blah, blah. Then you see Austin Theory and the Usos versus Finn Balor and Riddle and Randy Orton. Theory got the win over Finn Balor again, and the U.S. Championship has no value anymore. It is what it is. And let's see. Okay, yeah, and then AJ Styles came out, tried to fight Edge and Priest, and then they had all the producers and stuff backstage, the referees coming out to break it up. Styles and Priest have a match next week. Texas Tornado Tag Team match with Alpha Academy and Street Profits. Street Profits got the win after a frog splash through a table. Pretty good match.
Yeah, it was a good match.
And then finally, Roman Reigns comes out, gold all around. You got the SmackDown Tag Champs with the Usos. You got the Universal WWE. The Universal WWE Champion or whatever. It was Reigns.
Let me ask you guys a question.
It's the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Heck of something to think of.
Let me ask you guys a question about this. Roman Reigns clearly has a lot of titles, right? He's got a lot of titles. The man's got more belts than he has people to carry him. How long do you think that Roman Reigns is going to be at the level that Roman Reigns is at before maybe they move on to somebody else? I mean, is Roman Reigns?
He's done been here for 5 years.
Lead? Huh?
He's done been at the top for 5 years. He's going to be going for another 5, I bet.
That's what I'm saying. So Roman Reigns at the level that Roman Reigns is at WWE, and Gonzo, I'm gonna let you respond first to this because I know you got a lot to say. Do you think that Gonzo? This question is to you. Do you think Roman Reigns is going to be Roman Reigns at the level at which Roman Reigns is at for at least another 5 years? That Logan is speculating at. At
least 5 years, and if he stays healthy, probably more. Because he's only 36 years old. I mean, and hell, look at Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. There's guys that wrestle up into their 50s. So
I think you still have another probably 5-year gap of just you could have him being that top guy, and then once you get to the 40s, then I would hope that they would kind of move on to someone else.
I could see him doing like another 5 years at top, and then becoming something like kind of like John Cena and some of these other guys doing movies and
just
stuff.
Coming part time.
Yep. And
I haven't feel like Roman Reigns is meant for. I think he's like another Rock, the way they're portraying him. But I don't know. I'm not going to say that. The Rock is so unique. The Rock is so unique because he has so many sayings. He has so many. The Rock, nobody knows. I'm going to tell you right now. There will never be a character as good as The Rock. There will never. It's just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Nobody can have that much charisma, that much sayings, that much of all that he's done. I mean, The Rock has just done so much. Roman Reigns, I get it. He says acknowledge me, whatever, but he does not have the character, the story, the quotations that has fallen on. He does not have the people's eyebrow. He does not have those types of things.
I will say this.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody can ever touch The Rock in wrestling. And I'm not even wrestling, but I know about the people's eyebrow.
I'm about to say, yeah, I mean, The Rock is unique, but Jay, I swear to God, if you saw Roman Reigns as a babyface, you'd want to just never watch wrestling again.
But do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know that there could ever be a character like The Rock.
I mean,
I don't know. The popularity of The Rock is so amazing that I don't know if Roman Reigns can get to that level.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he'll get to that. I don't know if he'll get to the level of The Rock, but he's
like, you know what I'm saying? I think Roman Reigns is good. But let me ask you this: what is more important, the way that Vince McMahon develops the character of Roman Reigns, or is it that the fans of WWE just love Roman Reigns so much that he will just be that for another 5 years? Is it the fans, or is it Vince McMahon that will make him last another 5 years?
Combination of both, I would say.
Yeah, mostly Vince, because he is the one that runs the show.
If the fans are buying the merch, they're going.
Oh yeah, as long as he's buying merch, as long as they're buying his
he's going to
main
stay on
events
top
for pay-per-views, yeah, he'll be top.
That's why Lesnar's been around so long, because he's still a big draw. He still makes WWE a lot of money.
Yeah,
let's be honest. Let's just be honest. Brock Lesnar is so big. I really think that Brock Lesnar could crush Roman Reigns in a real life brawl.
I would say probably, because you also got to remember
he is a UFC champ.
He's a UFC champ. He's also a
I would hope he could
in wrestling.
I was about to say,
hey, really quick. So this is our last topic. So we're going to move into final thoughts real quick. And the way I want us to address this or go about final thoughts is this. I want to kind of just use it kind of as more of like what more can we expect from Gonzo's Sports Room, as well as Unscripted, and talking about wrestling going forward. I know we kind of mentioned this a little bit in preview, and I don't want to give everything out right away, but I think what we need to do is, I know, Gonzo, you're going to do a certain amount of pay-per-view events on your sports show that we're going to join with you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think there's going to be certain ones that we're going to do with Unscripted as well. Is that correct, Logan?
Yeah, and like Gonzo said, we'll stream the both pretty much. We're just gonna kind of team up on our platforms instead of just having it out Unscripted. We'll team up with Gonzo put on his channel now.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm thinking too as well. So what I want to say to the people out there that are listening,
to the people,
is let's say Saturday. I want to put a schedule of what Gonzo's going to do, what we're going to do. So Saturday, let's put out I want to be able to announce at the end of the show on Saturday night show what our schedule looks like going forward in terms of what the viewers can expect from Unscripted and Gonzo Sports Room. Are we all good on that?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
All right, I think Saturday gives us enough time to collaborate enough to figure out what we're going to do. Gonzo, final thoughts, brother.
It's been I think it's been a great show. Thanks for coming and watching. Baseball just a couple days away. 2 days to opening day. Ready to watch the Reds play. They play at 8. They play at 8:00, so we'll probably still be on the air.
We'll be starting. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to. I love baseball season. Let's go.
Hey, listen. Nobody wants baseball more than me, Gonzo. I love baseball, dude. I really do. I love baseball, basketball. I love football. I love everything. And we have so much going on.
You're probably like I am. Then if you're watching TV, it's probably usually some kind of live game. That's about.
It's always something. The only thing that depresses me, Gonzo, is football. Football always depresses me, just because it's hard to be a Cowboys fan. For those of you that are out there in TV land that know that are Cowboys fans, you know how hard it is to be a Cowboys fan. And we got a long road to travel before we ever get to where we got to get back to. And it's been a long time. I don't want to sound bad, because I know Gonzo and Indianapolis Colts, but you know what? I don't feel bad for Gonzo, because he had Peyton Manning and they have had a Super Bowl before I have. So you know what, Gonzo, go F off. If anybody, the only one that I feel bad for is Logan, because them poor Atlanta Falcons, those sorry sons of bitches.
Falcons are, at least the Raiders are looking good, bro. At least the Raiders are looking good this year.
Oh, that's right. You know what? This is how much. You know what? God dang, coming, Rogan. I forgot Okay, for you that don't know, Logan is based out of Douglasville, which is basically a suburb of Atlanta. So Logan supports the Braves. He supports the Atlanta Hawks. But then every time we get to football, he jumps over to the Raiders. And every time I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons, because I know he's from Atlanta,
I can talk about the Falcons. I can talk about the Falcons, Jay. I mean, I watch them on TV.
We got a question real quick. Logan, how did you become a Raiders fan?
My father. Pretty easy.
Father?
My dad was a huge Raiders fan. There's thousands of pieces of just memorabilia at the house. So yeah, I just grew up on that.
It's fine. I mean, it's all good that he's a Raiders fan. It's just for whatever reason, because he's in Atlanta, I always want to lump Logan in with the Atlanta Falcons and not with the Raiders. And I know you're a Raiders guy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Jay. I mean, of course I keep up the Falcons. They're the hometown team, and they're always on.
No, but who's your team, Logan? Logan?
My team's the Raiders.
Okay, so your Raiders are looking good right now.
Yes, I'm just saying. If you want to talk about the Falcons, I know more than enough to talk about the Falcons too. Even though they suck right now.
Out of all,
why did you bring up that Super Bowl?
Why did you bring up that Super Bowl? Hey, listen, whatever. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, hey, folks. At the end of the day, man. Listen. Out of all three of us, between me, Logan, and Gonzo, I think the one with the most, the person with the most hyped upness, looking forward to next season, is gonna be Logan. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be honest.
It's looking good.
It's looking pretty good for your Raiders, right? You got Devonta. You just brought in Devonta Adams to pair up with Derek Carr. How much? And you got Josh Jacobs. Come on.
And Waller. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be a fun season, though. Like I said, thanks everyone for tuning in.
The division
will be stacked. Thursday, we get the return of Frankie the Yankee. He's coming back Thursday. So tune in 7 o'clock, and you'll see the four of us talking about a lot of baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I am so looking forward to having Frankie the Yankee back. Honestly, I really am. I'm looking forward to having him back.
Full gear on.
It's been a hot minute.
I haven't got to be on with Frankie on a regular show like on Unscripted yet.
Wow. All right, folks. So Thursday's lineup is going to be me, Gonzo, Logan, and Frankie the Yankee, and expect us to talk a lot of baseball and probably what else is going on in the world. But I imagine there's going to be a lot of baseball thrown in. So, and for Logan, for Gonzo, and like I said, if you want to catch more on Gonzo, please go check out Gonzo. You're strictly on Facebook only, correct?
No.
I mean, where can they find you? Gonzo, plug your stuff. Where can they find you?
You can find us at Gonzo Sports Room on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and also on Instagram. Any social media at Gonzo Sports Room, you can find us, or you can find me at Chris D. Gonzales on Facebook.
There you go. Get personal info.
And Gonzo, please elaborate on your sports show or your sports betting show on ASAP. What night does that appear?
We got a sports betting show, Easy Money. It's called Easy Money. It is on the ASAP network as well on Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern.
So if you guys want to learn how to bet more appropriately, go catch Gonzo 3 p.m.
Legally, by the way, Jay.
Yeah, legally. Come on.
Yeah, legally.
Listen, DraftKings is legal. Everybody who's anybody, that's on DraftKings.
That's why I got my sportsbook shirt on. The book is from the casino about 15 minutes away. Sometimes we get down there, and last time I was there, they gave us shirts.
Gotta love free stuff.
No, but for real, hey, everybody, I just want to say thank you for tuning in on tonight's show. We appreciate each and everybody. Damien, what is that
Iverson
man? Vagos? Am I saying it right?
What'd you say?
Is it Vagos? What was his last name?
Who?
I know we had Damien commented in it. We had
Robert Scott, Lennon Crisp, Iverson Vlogs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Iverson Vlogs. That was the name I was trying to.
Yeah.
My brain went to the left. So we had Iverson Vlogs. We had Damien. We had Sander Royo Sanchez and Robert Scott and everybody else who chimed in. We thank you very much. And until Thursday at 7 p.m., you will get Frankie the Yankee back and more to come. Hey, guys, appreciate you. Love you. And we'll catch you on the other side. Until next time, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Hot sports all plays. Hot sports all plays. 365 365, we making a place. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information, hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all